So let's talk about a showdown, a real high-stakes drama. On one side, you've got this revolutionary AI company, literally founded on the principle of safety. And on the other, well, just the world's most powerful military. This isn't some simple contract dispute, you guys. This is really a battle for the soul of artificial intelligence itself. I mean, just imagine getting this email on a Tuesday afternoon. It is the ultimate ultimatum, right? It forces a company to choose between its most fundamental values and, well, being labeled a threat to national security. The clock is absolutely ticking, and the decision they make could change everything we know about technology and warfare. So the big question is, how on earth did we get here? To really get why Anthropic was willing to risk it all, you have to go back to the beginning. See, this wasn't just another Silicon Valley startup. It was born out of a rebellion, a kind of exodus from the company that basically kickstarted this whole AI revolution we're in, OpenAI. And the timeline here really tells the story. The Emoti siblings, they were central to building models like GPT-3. They saw a trend that really worried them. As OpenAI pivoted hard toward making money and shipping products fast, they felt like safety was getting left in the dust. It's like they were building this incredibly powerful engine, but with breaks that were getting worse and worse. So they walked, and they took some of OpenAI's best people with them to build something totally different, right from the first brick. And this, right here, this lays out the fork in the road perfectly. You have one philosophy that's all about performance, speed, just get it out the door as fast as you can. And then you have Anthropic's way of thinking. Slow down, safety before you scale. They were convinced you had to truly understand and control the tech before you unleash it on millions of people. This one difference, it's the key to this entire story. Okay, so it's one thing to say you care about safety. It's easy to put it in a mission statement, but how do you actually bake it into the DNA of an AI? Well, Anthropic came up with some pretty revolutionary tech to make it happen. Let's dig into how they pulled it off. This right here is Anthropic's secret sauce. They call it constitutional AI. So instead of having humans spend countless hours telling an AI good job or bad job, they gave the AI a constitution, a set of principles based on things like the UN Declaration of Human Rights. And then they trained a second AI to act as its conscience, its critic. It's this constant loop of self-correction. Now, this isn't just nagging an AI to be better. It's more like performing brain surgery to change its behavior from the inside out, making it fundamentally more aligned with our values.
But look, changing an AI's behavior isn't really enough if you have no idea why it's doing what it's doing. The inside of these giant AI models, it's a black box, right? Billions of connections that not even the creators fully understand. So Anthropic decided we have to crack that box open.
And they're pioneering this wild new field called mechanistic interpretability. You can think of it as AI neuroscience. The whole point is to actually map the AI's internal brain to see how it forms ideas. Now, why is this so critical? Well, it helps you figure out if an AI is telling you the truth because it actually believes it, or if it's just a people pleaser, telling you exactly what it thinks you want to hear. And that difference is everything. And get this is just mind-bending. In one of their big experiments, the researchers actually found the specific cluster of neurons inside the AI that represented the idea of the Golden Gate Bridge. And when they artificially turned on that neuron, the AI suddenly started talking as if it was the bridge. This proved it. They could actually isolate and trigger specific concepts, which is a gigantic leap forward in prying open that black box. Okay, so now we get it. We have a company built on safety-first principles with this groundbreaking tech to back it up. Now, let's go back to that Friday afternoon ultimatum from the Pentagon. Anthropic was being asked to turn off the very safety features they had poured years of their lives into building. And it all came down to these two unbreakable rules. These were their red lines. First, no autonomous killing, period. Their AI could never be used in a system that makes a life or death decision without a human being directly in control. A human always has to be in the loop. And second, no mass surveillance. It could not be used as a tool to spy on citizens without a warrant. These were the lines in the sand. And the CEO's response? It was clear, direct, and completely unequivocal. We cannot, in good conscience, agree. This wasn't a business negotiation, it was a moral stand. And that one sentence set the stage for this massive clash between a tech company and the full power of the state. But you have to understand, this wasn't just some abstract philosophical debate for them. It was also a very practical engineering decision. I mean, sure, AI looks amazing in controlled lab tests, but a real battlefield, that's pure chaos. these models are still prone to hallucinations. They just make stuff up sometimes. A hallucination on your homework is kind of funny. A hallucination that changes the targeting coordinates for a missile, that's a catastrophe. Anthropic knew, deep down, their technology simply was not ready for that kind of responsibility. And this whole standoff, it just blew the lid off a much, much bigger question. One that honestly is going to affect every single one of us. In this new age of AI, who actually gets to be in control? And here's the other side of the argument, and you can't ignore it. The government's perspective is, hey, matters of national security, they can't just be vetoed by some tech CEO's ethics committee in San Francisco. And this is the real conflict, right? The raw power of private innovation slamming up against the authority of the democratically elected state. Who gets the final word? Now, the amount of money at stake here was huge right out of the gate. Anthropic was willing to walk away from a $200 million deal. But the real risk was so much bigger. Being labeled a supply chain risk would basically blacklist them from all government work and scare away private investors. It could have been an existential threat to the entire company. But here is where the story takes a fascinating turn. You might think Anthropic is just some small niche player, but look at this. In the big money enterprise market where companies are betting their businesses on this stuff, Anthropic is the leader. They have 40% of the market. It turns out that for serious businesses, trust is the most valuable feature of all. And this chart tells you why. A whopping 77% of their business customers aren't just messing around with their AI, they are using it for full automation of critical systems. You only do that if you trust a system completely. So in a beautiful, ironic twist, the very safety principles that put them on a collision course with the Pentagon are the exact same principles that made them a massive commercial success. Which brings us right back to the one critical question we're left with. This story isn't just about one company or one contract. It's a preview of what might be the defining struggle of our century. When we build technologies that are smarter than us, who gets to hold the off switch? The people who created it or the governments that want to use it? There's no easy answer here, and the decisions being made right now are going to shape our world for a long, long time to come.